Alrighty, so I'm going to show you some of my trading that I've been doing for the last around 2 years. Paper trading, I think it's been 1.5 years. And yeah, we'll have a look and I'll tell you how it went. So here it is. So I have only got some data from April 2025, but I was actually trading it a lot earlier before that, but I didn't track it. I wasn't actually tracking my trades, but it's very important as a trader that you have to track what you're doing. So these first ones, I didn't have the right. Um, I know I had green days the first week, but I didn't actually calculate the price. But it was around 500 each day. Um, and I was also writing notes about what was going on. But so this starts from the 22nd of April 2025 is when I started officially tracking everything. And I was going really, really well. As you can see, there's been a lot of green days on my chart, and it goes all the way from April to August. So actually, it was really good that as you can see in these red days, try to zoom in. On these red days, I was having very big red days. So 2,500 red here on my second week. And actually, that whole week was terrible. Um, Another big red day here. And I was having some really nice green days as well. $1,000 green days. To be honest, I can't remember how big my account was. I think it was $50,000. This was paper trading, by the way. And like here, the 21st of May, massive red day. And I said I got ripped apart from QUBT, and I was close to $1,000 profit initially. I need to stick with limit orders and lower float stocks. Well, actually, I shouldn't have been trading lower float stocks at all, and I wouldn't be touching QUBT at the moment because it's not on my trade book to trade something low floats. I don't do low floats. So, as you can see, I had some issues with my trading, even though I've had some really, really very consistent green. But actually, in reality, these were I really had some, even though there was a lot of green days, it was very messy, and I was sitting on my computer for hours some nights until the morning. So I would start at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would be finishing at 6 or 7, just to try to keep it green because I was so red on some of these days, and I was just keep adding to my losing trades, and I was getting out of the bad trades by adding to it. Now, anyone who trades knows that's an absolutely terrible idea. And I was really stuck with these very poor, um, very poor habits. And I didn't have my rules. I never wrote down my rules here. Oh, three. No low floats, no low floats, no trading in the first 1 minute, appropriate share size. But I actually have 10 rules now. And yeah, so overall, I was getting a very high win rate, but I wasn't doing any. My trading was not sustainable, and these days when I was getting it red, when I was having red days, there were very large losses. I don't know if that's a typo, but it says 12,000 here. $12,000 lost, which maybe it was a typo and it was 1,200. Um, but I did say that my trading was really bad that day, and here you go. So all of these are around a couple of $100 each day, green days here. And I think from here on, my account was very small. I had a very small account. And in the end of August, I was having these massive red days again, giant red days, and it was on leveraged Tesla, um, TSLL, and every single day was TSLL. And $2,500 loss on the 12th of August, $2,000 loss on the 13th, $5,000 loss on the 16th. And I didn't have the date for that one, $2,000 loss on that day. So my trading was actually really, really bad. And what I said was, broke my streak, devastating loss today, broke too many rules and got overconfident with high leverage, and 1 minute opening range breakout. Same crap as yesterday, not in the right headspace to trade well at the moment. Even in the green days, I was saying crappy trading, share sizes too high, and erratic trading. And the trading week from hell, very messy days, and I was really upset at the end of all these red days. So, even despite all these very big red days, I actually had a very high green day percentage. And what I've come to learn is that doesn't actually really matter the green days. What matters the most is the win to loss ratio. And your win to loss ratio, you have to have greater wins and smaller losses. As long as your losses are small and your wins are greater, you can make a lot of money. You can be a profitable trader doing that, even though your win rate is low. So I was really focusing on this green day percentage, but I'm not a profitable trader at this time because the red days are so big. So we're gonna that finished in August, 19th of August. So I'm missing 2 months of data, but I think the next 2 months my trading was actually very good. I was doing a very good job in that 2 months compared to what I showed you. And this funded account, I paid $500 or $600 to my community trading. I use a platform called Trading Terminal because I'm part of Bear Bull Traders. And if you spend 3 months in the simulator and show you can be profitable, you'll get paid up to $10,000 payout. And so I joined this challenge thinking I was ready because like I said, I had 2 good months. And I quickly found out that I wasn't ready. So we're going to zoom in here. And I blew my account within 5 days. I failed the challenge in 5 days. And I was devastated. And I at the time, I thought I was really ready. But if you can see here, these are all the rules I broke. And I almost broke every single rule in my trading. And I think what happened is the mindset changed when it became personal, when I was actually, because this was like using real money because I was going to get paid out $10,000. So the mindset changed and the trading, it changed my trading. And I believe that's why I got stopped out so early. Even though I tried my best, I wasn't trading the same because I was fear of loss, I guess. So we're going to go over here and my current focus, improve my win to loss ratio. And at the moment, I'm trying to improve. I had a very, very bad problem of cutting my losses quickly, and I couldn't do that. I believe I mastered that now. And I'm trying to focus on share size. I'm using too much shares. I'm over trading a little bit, and sometimes I'm jumping into setups that are not really that great. And I have my strategy here, which is actually so we find a trade that I've got a strong conviction about, or at least a medium conviction that I believe is going to be a good trade. And I trade an appropriate share size, either 25 to 50% of my account. And once the trade is, it goes in my favor, I partial it by 50% early on, set a stop loss at break even. So that trade, there's no risk. I've made all my money back on that trade, and there's absolutely no risk on that trade because as soon as it hits the stop loss, it will break even. And then I've partialed, so I've made money. And then at that point is when you let the trade run for as long as possible, and then take another 25% partial or 50%, and then repeat that 2 or 3 times depending on what's happening with the stock and play. And then sometimes I add to trades, but I'm not sure about that. I haven't had a lot of experience adding to trades, but I do it sometimes. Um, and the other part here is if the trade goes red early on, closing it for a small loss. Now that's easier said than done, and sometimes these losses can be quite big. But then it goes back to using an appropriate share size. That's why you have to use a smaller share size and using more risk and using a large share size. So I guess that's when adding to a winning trade really works. Is when you start out with a smaller size, and as the trade is winning, you add to it. And yeah, back to the win rate and win ratio. So win ratio is very important. Win rate also is, but win ratio is actually the most important one out of the two. As long as your win rate is around 50%, if your win ratio is good, you will be a profitable trader. So my rules: manage risk, appropriate share size, cut losing trades quickly. Number 3, no trading in the first 1 minute. Number 4, no over trading. Number 5, partial when needed. Number 6, stop loss at break even when a trade is going well. Number 7, no adding to losing trades. Number 8, no trading after 1.5 hours from open. Number 9, profit and loss hidden. Now I've highlighted that one because I'm not really doing that rule at the moment, but it's there because just based on my trading, sometimes I feel it needs to be hidden, but I'm not 100% sure about that yet. And number 10, do not jump into trades that do not have a good setup. So too far from VWAP or shorting a strong stock. And I also use something called Market Atlas, and that I use that data to help me know when to take a trade or not. And then I have a quote here which is based on the win ratio and win rate, which is trading is a game of probabilities, not certainties. Success comes from thinking in odds, not outcomes, and managing risk with every move. So I'll just finally, to wrap it up, I'll just show you the rest of my trades and what's been going on. So this was a little bit disappointing. As you can see, my trading is not a lot. It's not green like it used to be. My win rate here is actually just 50%. And most of my weeks have been red, not green. Now, for most of us, this goes from November all the way to now, which is the 23rd of January. And I was still breaking a lot of my rules here and not cutting my losses very quickly. And this is turning. It's better, a lot better than the trading I was doing, and it's more realistic. And I was having some really good days here. And these losses were actually pretty small, which is good. This was Christmas, so I had some time off. And then missed those days for some reason. I'm not sure what happened on those 3 days. I was kicked out of trading terminal, so I couldn't trade actually. And in Christmas, New Year's, and then around, so from the 19th onwards, I had some really bad trades, $1,000 lost days, and I just said here, just back to not following my rules. Too impatient today, did well with cutting my trades, but making way too many trades and too many shares. So it goes back to high share size and over trading, and not sticking to my rules. So if I go to the 9th of January, still almost down $1,000 and managing 2 trades at the open with way too many shares. Jumped in too early without having enough conviction for the trades I took. Refused to close trades, not sticking to my rules. So just a very, very bad day. 10th of January was even worse. Big loss and bad trading. So that was just recently. So I'm still struggling. Actually, in a way, I'm still struggling with this. And missed a couple of days there and had some crappy trading on the 16th. And the 16th was actually some days you just have bad days trading because that's just part of trading. Even if you do no mistakes. That's part of trading, is you'll have a lot of red days even if you do nothing wrong. But the problem is when you're breaking rules. So now I'm really focusing on trying to stick to all my rules, and I don't care. I don't care at all if I have a red day or a green day. What I'm trying to care about is if I'm sticking to my rules. And as we can see on the side here, I used to break a lot of rules. These numbers represent my rules. And now, in the last few weeks, the rules I'm breaking is less and less every day. And you know, I still have bad days and whatnot. And I'm still learning, and I still do break my rules on occasion. But I'm still a student, and I'm still learning how to do this. So, based on the data, I'm probably going to be paper trading the rest of the year, I would say, and that's just how it is. It's, I guess, because of my personality. The trading has brought out a lot of my issues and problems in my life. I have, like, for example, like with my weight and my diet, and I can get really addicted to things easily, and all of these issues come out in the trading, and that is what I'm trying to deal with. Once I deal with all of these issues, um, I'll notice the trading will actually will start getting better, and I have noticed it is getting better. But I do still break rules, but I'm a lot more take it a lot more seriously now. Um, I noticed that I cut my losses way quicker than I used to, and I'm aware of my over trading. So instead of spending 4 hours on the computer, I will only spend generally an hour. So I spend a lot less time, and I really focusing on the moment because I feel I've just conquered this cutting losses issue, and now I'm focusing just to do 2 or 3, generally around 2 really good trades per day, and then cut the red trades quickly and improve my win ratio. So once I have 3 months of data of this consistent trading, I will go back and start this $10,000 challenge again. That's about 600 to enter it. And I'm not going to be making any videos actually until that is done. So so it won't be, I don't know, worst case scenario will be a year before my next video. I just don't want to, these videos are quite long, and I don't want to be a broken record. I don't want to do another video in a month talking about the same thing if I haven't conquered this issue. But it's just an update to what I'm doing at the moment, and it's like when I first got into trading in 2022, I thought after 3 months of paper trading, I thought I could go into a live account, and that is not the case at all. It's been 1.5 years, and I'm still not ready to do live trading. And I think that's actually okay, because most people do not make any money trading. 95% of people lose money trading, and it's a very difficult career to get into, and it's risky. And you have to really take it seriously, and I believe I'm taking it seriously. I'm treating this like a business. And the third thing is you have to get rid of all of the issues in your life that get in the way of your trading. And a lot of people can't become traders because their issues are so great, and they're not willing to actually change, and they rather just go off and get a job. But I really believe this is my passion. Like, this is something that I was called to do, to be a trader. And I don't really have much else going for me in terms of work. I'm unemployed at the moment, and even though I'm still looking for a job, and I will work full time, and I'll do this on the side, but trading is not something that I'm just willing to just let go. I'm willing to spend as long as it can take to succeed as a trader. So anyway, that was a long video, and I hope I haven't bored you with that. But next time I make a video, hopefully I will have some good news, and I can show you the improvements I've made in my trading. I'll just end with a quote that I have here. Not a quote, but it's my focus, and it's just something that I have on my as a belief to keep myself positive. So, on my current focus, I have it here. I say it to myself every day before I trade. I'm the most successful day trader in New Zealand, and I've already received it. And I always tell it to myself, even sometimes during the day. I say, one day I'll be the best day trader in New Zealand. I'm going to become the best day trader in New Zealand. And it's something that I kind of, when you say it out loud so often, and you start to believe it, and it actually changes your trading, and it gives you confidence, and then it just turns you into someone who believes it. So, because I believe it, it changes the way I trade, and it makes me confident to trade, and it's really good. Like, you have to have a positive attitude, or you won't be able to make it in this business or anything in life. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you later.